To episode 217 of the A Show. Of course, we are here. Thank you guys for subscribing. You can subscribe to the A Show at the A Show on RNC Radio, everywhere you listen to podcasts. And then you can also follow us on Twitter at the A Show RNC and so much more. As you may know, it's just me, Meelz. You're wondering, well, why is the intro this way? Why is that someone not saying Kings of Wrestling and awesome and other stuff like that? Well, Justin is on a private excursion. He is away in Mexico, doing the damn thing.
You with the narcos, nigga.
So I have on the show my best friend, someone who I've been talking wrestling with for a long time, someone who I've been doing podcasts with for a long time. This would technically be like, we're entering 2022. Mm-hmm. We've been doing podcasts for 7 years.
That's scary to think about.
That's like a lot of time.
Like you racked up real numbers. Like you the raw of like.
But you
the weekly episodic wrestling podcast. Like, you guys have pretty much covered all your bases and shit. Like,
yeah, absolutely. So I have my best friend Carlos here. As you know, Carlos, one half of Two Belts podcast, if you don't remember. So here's the thing, like, I always got to remember that, like, there are people who are, like, came in during the A-Show era of things, who may not be familiar with the Two Belts era of things. But so Two Belts was the podcast, the music podcast. It's supposed to be, like, music and wrestling.
It was music and wrestling, but then it's just, like, we confused a lot of people that were just, like, this is, you know, it's so funny. Your life can be tracked in so many eras. Like, the This Goes In era had people thinking, like, this was going to all be music. And then when they hear wrestling at the end, they get confused.
Yeah.
So we ended up kind of nixing that for a while,
yeah,
and then putting that on the shelf. And
we would talk wrestling every now and then.
Yeah, and then you put it on the, and then you finally did the A Show with Justin, and it was to the moon, out of here. You guys are interviewing stars.
I know, it's crazy,
rubbing elbows.
This shit is nuts. But nonetheless, yes, I have Carlos here, one half of Two Belts. Mm-hmm. What would you say your occupation is?
Now I am helping children in the community get summer youth employment by being their hiring manager, which is really cute. Like, and it's kids from the projects and shit. And, you know, I'm really grateful to help them. Before that, I was doing outreach, helping the homeless. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know, a modern day beige Mother Teresa.
I have no idea why I have these headphones on. I can't hear.
I don't know. I think actually historically Mother Teresa was actually a terrible person, but
I
mean when you reel back the curtain of history and like look at a lot of there's a lot of scumbags that really made it to the upper echelon. Like if you look at everyone on Mount Rushmore, they were all terrible, derogatory people.
So I remember during our Two Belts days, like you would watch wrestling, but then you would like also miss a lot because you were also busy doing like a whole bunch of
work
other
or nightlife stuff, or work and nightlife stuff my schedule's always all over the place. I mean, even now, like I work afternoons to like maybe the middle of the evening, but it's like I mostly catch up on everything in the 1 hour recap that they do on YouTube.
Which is awesome.
Which is, because it's like, I don't want to watch 3 hours of wrestling. I love wrestling, but 3 hours of wrestling?
Straight?
Yeah, it's just...
Like watching Monday Night Raw. Like there's always a lull. What I appreciate about this episode, Monday Night Raw, and we'll get it, is that there was like a thread point through the entire show. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, you got to tune into that. Now, you may not be interested in it. Depending on how much you care about Bobby Lashley beating down the same people he's been beating down for like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little through point, so it took you through the show and stuff like that. You had a little hijinks. We'll get into the hijinks itself.
And they've got some good feuds going. Like it's like a lot of great must see stuff. Like Seth Rollins is having like the performance of a lifetime in his current character, so I think it's amazing.
You've been able to catch up on more wrestling as of late. Is there anything that you like
currently?
Let me say anything that's happened maybe in the past year that you were like, I like that. I like that.
Oh, Edge versus Rollins. That series was amazing, and we got to see it live. We got to see what was the match on SmackDown?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh man,
where they went overtime and the women got knocked off the show.
Yeah, I mean that was OD. And then Edge was like, in Saudi Arabia, I'm gonna have a woman referee to make up. Look at our progressive king.
I know, right? Oh my god. Nah, that's fine. Like Carlos, every time there's a wrestling show, Carlos is always the person I go to, so we can always talk shit about the shit that's in the ring,
and then the people outside of the ring watching the show. Absolutely.
So yeah, we got to watch one of those. I mean, yeah, that Madison Square Garden thing was nuts. Like that was literally one of the. It's up there with. It might be. Remember that NXT takeover? Did
we see Balor versus Joe live at Brooklyn?
Yes,
we saw a ladder match. Yeah,
yes,
I remember
because that was Balor versus Joe. Balor versus Owens.
Balor versus Owens.
Yeah. Because that was the same night as the Sasha Banks and Bayley thing that we saw. That 5-star classic that we saw.
Oh yeah,
close and personal. And then we also went to the show. We went to that Madison Square Garden.
Oh, where Adam Cole debuted.
Yes, we went to that one too.
Yeah, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Fish debuted.
So I was going to ask you, because that one was cool too, because they also had that...
And they beat up Drew McIntyre,
they also had Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black at that time, and they had Aleister Black with the live fucking band.
Yeah.
And I was just fucking banging my head and shit, and I was just like, oh, this shit is so hard. I love it. I miss NXT takeovers. And then we went to that Madison Square Garden house show, just random house show.
Oh, remember AJ Styles won
the United States Championship at that show.
I
bro.
remember that. Shout out Mitchell. Mitchell was just like, yeah, come to this random house show. And I was like, why they change the titles on a house show?
So, no. But so we went, and then Mitchell, shout out to Mitchell, who was interning for Chase.
Yeah.
And Chase has the MSG connection. Bada bing,
yeah, they have a whole section.
So they had their suite. So Mitchell was like, yo, we don't really care, to be honest with you. Like, I'm just here because...
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... He passed us the tickets. We slid in the suite. By the time we got there, everything was in anyway. So.
Yeah, it was just like little tiny hot dogs on pretzels. Not gonna hold you. And then they give you just mustard to dip it in.
Yeah,
mustard.
Listen,
mustard. And then they got the only thing that was untouched were mostly the cookies, and the cookies was hard as shit. Remember?
That's Madison Square Garden culture. That's hard fucking Italian cookies, my nigga. It's just hard. Hard working family cookies. You know what I'm saying? God. So we've seen that. I think one of our first shows, we went in like 2012. 2014. It was something with Brock and CM Punk. Like it was and then they had like RVD versus Chris Jericho. A real nothing fucking Raw. But
because I think it's one of those ones where Punk didn't even compete. He just showed up.
Yeah. And which was terrible. I mean, I've still to this day, I've never seen CM Punk wrestle live. Have I?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You gotta go to Arthur Ashe Stadium for that now.
I'm not going the fuck all the way out there.
Yeah, Queens, nigga.
Queens is so... People don't know.
Yeah, y'all don't know. If y'all ever get a chance to come here, like, you'll realize you go to Queens and it's like the most, like, spaced out, like, place in the world. And it's like, as a New Yorker, it'll make you feel uncomfortable because it's just like, why is this like this?
Yeah. Why is this so far away?
There's a running joke. Was it you'll get to 55 Street, then 55 Ave, then 55 Road.
Yeah.
And it's just like there are literally spaces in Queens that follow that layout, and it does not make sense.
Well, listen.
They also have dashes in their addresses here. Everywhere else in New York does not.
Queens is another fucking monster. What else have we seen? We went to the Raw. One of the biggest one. Raw with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Probably that last Madison Square Garden show before everything shut down.
That was a fucking pop.
Oh, my God. I never thought in my life I'd see Stone Cold Steve Austin live. So this was like a dream just to be there.
I'm not going to lie. I loved him as a kid because him and my dad were both bald. And so I really looked up to Stone Cold Steve Austin because he does all the things that my dad does, beat up people and drink beer.
All right, so I'm going to ask this question, but I'm not sure if it's like... I'm not sure how you're going to respond.
What?
Does Stone Cold Steve Austin get a hood pass?
A hood pass for what? Like, in what sense? Like, he could show up to the barbecue.
He could show up to the
he could show up to the barbecue, but he cannot say the N-word.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
not.
Okay.
No.
Because I'm taking out both knees and the neck.
Yeah, he don't got the Fat Joe rule on him.
The Fat Joe rule? I'm Puerto Rican. We part of the pillars of hip hop. What do you mean I can't say nigga?
But nah, like
Hermes.
If Stone Cold pulls up to the barbershop, he's not getting looked at
Oh, he could get a lineup.
Yeah,
he could get a lineup. Like, I'm sure they took his picture, put him up on the wall, give him the handshake. What's good, man?
Whoa, Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Oh, man, you want to take a picture? Yeah, take a picture with Stone Cold. Stone Cold, you want a beer? Oh, Stone Cold actually just drinks wine now.
I don't know about these chopped cheeses, okay? You know, one of those. I don't know.
Oh, man. This is coming off a cocaine grill? You cook this in the Outback?
Listen, but we've seen some cool shit. I'm very happy to have you on the podcast.
No problem.
First time on the main feed.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on the Invasion Diaries.
Yeah.
We did that earlier this year, remember? You've been on Invasion Diaries, so now we're on the main feed.
On the lookout.
Yeah.
I've also done... Have I done Big Eyes, technically?
Yes, you've done Big Eyes. You did the One Piece.
Damn.
Listen, look at you.
Look at that. I got like the RSP and EGOT.
Let me ask you your thoughts on one thing, because everyone knows my thoughts already. What are your thoughts on AEW as a whole? Before we get into Patreon content, which we're going to talk about a lot of AEW stuff, what do you think about AEW just in general?
They got to polish all their little bullshit. Like, that's all that it really needs, because you got people that are talented in there. You got people there that are willing to work, but it's just like, if they don't focus on like the fundamentals of what is television wrestling, they're just going to be Pro Honor, like
Pro Honor, Impact, Gorilla.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're going to be, just king of the super indies on TV.
Yeah.
Instead of being
really
like,
high production indie show.
Yeah, it's just going to be an indie show that you pay a little bit more for because it's on TV.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be. Because
better lighting.
Absolutely. Because it's just like, okay, you get all these you don't get all the same camera angles you get with a WWE show, or you don't get the quick impact zoom.
Yeah.
Like, they need to polish all those things, and they need to get guys that are going to focus on the actual storytelling part of wrestling, because there's no way you're taking 20 super kicks and just standing up. You gotta get out of that indie mindset. But it's also on the flip side, the real fans of AEW, they love that shit.
Yeah.
And they want to see a motherfucker get punched 20 times in the face and still get back up and get punched again.
Wrestling fandom is so...
It's like split down the middle.
Yeah.
You got your thinking man 30-minute classic motherfucker, and then you got your just hit the motherfucker with a chair 20 times.
Yeah.
And I'll be thrilled.
Yeah, wrestling fandom is, I think, no matter what, even if AEW did change, because it's not WWE, I think people would say, like...
They still get a boner for it, because it's like they've been so around... Like, they've been around WWE so long that they're so used to that formulaic structure, and they get mad at it. They get mad at it because it doesn't always go their way.
Right.
And it's also just like, nigga, you are 35. Shit doesn't always go your way.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, realistically, like, my approach about these things, that we're going to get in a lot more conversation about it, is that ultimately these companies are going to do what's best for them anyway.
Oh, and they got to have like a big furlough sandwich. Like, they got to let go of a lot of niggas. There's no way that, like, Matt Hardy should be in charge of like 3 tag teams.
Oh, we're going to talk about Matt Hardy.
Oh, yeah, Matt pooped his pants Hardy.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Matt Hardy. But yeah, they definitely got to cut a little
the
bit
dead
of the
weight.
Fat. Yeah, there's
the
a
dead
lot.
weight.
They got a lot.
Have some of those guys go back to Pro Gorilla, or have their own version of NXT. Just throw them down there. I guess that's what Dark is.
Yeah.
What is Dark Elevation? I thought there was
Dark. I don't know what Dark Elevation is. To be honest with you, I've never watched Dark Elevation.
It's dark, but you work your way up to being on TV. Is that what it is?
I have no idea.
Do niggas just fight in an elevator? They turn the lights out, just punching each other?
I guess a metaphoric elevator at some point. Let me see.
Yeah, and it's going straight down.
All right, let's get into No Holds Barred, because we have quite a few releases or contract situations, or et cetera, and stuff like that. Big news. So Justin and I record the A show on Tuesday. It comes out on Wednesday. And then usually right on time, right on cue, something big happens on a Thursday. And that big thing was that Jeff Hardy was officially released from his WWE contract after something went on at a house show where it looked like he was a little bit off of his, maybe on that stuff. You know, something happened at a house show. There was a house show incident that happened. He was sent home. And then a couple of days later, he was released from his WWE contract. And of course, there was an outpouring of praise for Jeff, because everyone loves Jeff Hardy. The old adage that Jeff Hardy was, you know,
more over than Obama in 08.
Yes. I mean, it was true. But
Obama wasn't doing that swanton bomb off the top rope,
nor off the ladder or off anything. I mean, maybe it could have helped. It could help Joe Biden's election.
If Obama did
a
whisper in the wind onto Umaga, I think that really would have helped.
Yo, Jeff Hardy still might be popular right now than Joe Biden.
Yeah,
I mean easily. Like it's
easily.
Close.
Easily, most over white boy.
Yeah, easily
at his age category.
Jeff Hardy would have cut our student loans thing. I'm assuming, but
nah, he would just made drugs legal, and I would have fucked with it.
So he was released according to Fightful, and then also noted on Fightful that he was offered rehab and he turned it down, which was probably a large factor that led to his release.
Was it physical rehabilitation or substance?
I'm assuming it was substance. WWE does all kind of rehab.
Testing.
Yeah. So, but usually for anyone that's occurred with any drug or any sort of mental health problems or anything like that, even if you're with the company or you've been released, they still offer that for free.
Okay.
If you're a former person that would work for WWE.
Yeah, because I know they reached out to Ambrose once he quit.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you good, da-da-da.
Yeah, you want some free shit? Like, we're doing this. So, he turned it down, and it was released, and, you know, it's a really shaky situation.
Yeah.
Because
some people don't know what's going on with him because it's like there's no actual word from Jeff Hardy himself.
Right. But realistically, Matt Hardy has come out. The ultimate clout chaser.
Absolutely.
Matt Hardy has come out. Oh, the Hardy Boys are back. Team Extreme is in the building. Can't wait to see what's coming up. He had this whole video on his Twitch with Jeff. And you know, Jeff has been released, so I'm assuming they're gearing up for the eventual AEW run, which is, I'm assuming, what Matt Hardy has wanted all the time.
Yeah, because Matt Hardy can't fly solo.
No, he can't.
He's forever branded into a package deal with his brother, and yeah.
The idea of the Hardy family to me is wild.
Yeah, how you signed like 3 different tag teams to your one organization. Like, that's not a stable. That's 3 different tag teams.
And realistically, the tag team should be like, hey, like, not all of us are going to be and why haven't we still got tag title shots?
Exactly. It's just like, yo, they're all competing for you, and there's only one set of tag belts. There's no trios belt.
Yeah, it's insane, but it's pretty sickening. Like, I'm not the biggest Matt Hardy fan.
We can jump him.
I mean, we can. He can't run from us.
He can't. He can't get away that fast.
But he's pretty, in terms of kind of how this went down, I think realistically everyone just wants the best for Jeff Hardy, but it seems to not be addressed. And it's going to look even worse if he comes to AEW or something of the rather. And those issues that he had previously weren't addressed or weren't curbed or weren't helped in any situation. So I'm almost
he might end up in a situation where Ambrose is right now. Yeah. Ambrose is going into like rehab now, and he's off TV for a little while.
And I'm sure Jeff Hardy is stable and he's fine, and he is like just
maybe he did finesse the E. Listen, for a little chump change.
I didn't know the edible was gonna hit that long. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he forgot to take the creatine powder.
Yeah,
for the drug test.
I think we all hope the best for Jeff Hardy, and we all hope that at least the issues before resuming with what he did, because he seemed like he was on such a good run. Like, even
No More Words.
Yeah, so much stuff. He beat Karrion Kross in the first night and pissed a lot of indie niggas off.
Indie niggas were excited for Karrion Kross.
Well, no, not indie niggas. Wrestling journalists.
Oh, you mean Blue Lives Matter niggas? Because there's no way that you enjoy wrestling and you're a Karrion Kross fan.
Yeah,
it's a lot of niggas that I was like, what do you enjoy about this? What about this slow, methodical, lumbering style gets you so fucking charged up? What about this excites you?
I don't know, but I don't know what it thought. I mean, WWE was like, yeah, sure.
Oh, man. When Adam Cole put the plunger to that nigga's head and just flushed the toilet.
Oh, yeah. It was a wrap.
It was a wrap. You had 4 niggas body him all in the same night, and it was just like, you're going to still have him win this?
That's why he's doing movies now.
He's doing movies?
Yeah. He got casted in movies, not wrestling.
Okay. So he's just like a 6-foot-tall bald nigga that does action movies.
Yeah, he might. You got to pivot.
Yeah. Vin Diesel type.
Yes, I respect the move. Because if he had just gone back to wrestling, it would have been slow for him.
It would have been real slow.
Yeah.
He got to hope that Paul London get back into the ring and pick him back up as his, like, accessory.
So Jeff Hardy released. We wish the best for him, but also, what the hell is going on with this whole Matt Hardy shit that you got going on? I don't like it. I don't know.
I don't know. He got to beat that nigga ass.
eventual AEW run, I'm assuming.
I guess so.
Also, going from WWE, Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly say goodbye to NXT. For now?
You know, it's funny. I thought Johnny would pivot more to like training people because I just feel like he's so good at this wrestling thing. It's just like, but it's like,
I don't think he's retired though.
Yeah, I don't think he's retired either.
I don't think he's done yet. But let me ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you for Kyle first because I think the answer is a lot more clear with that one. Is Kyle AEW bound?
Probably. I mean, there's a certain threshold for a nigga like Kyle because I feel like Kyle, no matter how his runs went in NXT, even as a singles competitor, he didn't really have was the pizzazz to carry a character.
Yeah.
He was just like, I show up and I beat up people and I say silly things.
Yeah, and then when he was like 15 years old.
He was 15 years old when he debuted, right?
No.
Or was he like 20-something?
No, I have no idea.
He's pretty young.
I have no idea. But no, his promos, he talks like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
A little white, short, Jewish 15-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's really Canadian. Like, very Canadian.
But I think, 100% he's AEW. Listen, his mans is there.
His mans is there.
His fish is there. It seems AEW bound, but I mean, like I said last week, do not reform the Undisputed Era.
The Undisputed Elite? It's gonna make your skin crawl.
They would have to figure out how to make it drastically different from
MJF is gonna call them the Undisputed Anus. It's gonna come like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about MJF even with the Jeff Hardy thing. I was like, this nigga did not, because people were saying like even with the Jeff Hardy thing that he purposely did all this thing so he could leave WWE so he could join AEW.
Yeah, because
I was like, this nigga is not purposely leaving the WWE so he can get called a shit can head meth lord from Jeff Hardy from MJF. Like he is not leaving for all of that
to get verbally berated by a man from Long Island. I would kick him in the nuts. I wouldn't sign up for that bullshit.
No, but like Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, to be honest with you, I looked at the situation when it was announced that his contract thing was coming up towards the end of the year, and I was like, probably the best move for him right now.
Because he's not going to go to Japan Dolly.
COVID is still rocking it over in Japan.
Yeah.
I think if he had stayed in NXT, you know what? I think in an alternate universe there is a world where he does fit in, but I do think he has to like rebrand himself, kind of like how Roderick Strong did, because Roderick Strong now fits in NXT 2.0 because his character is so much different than what he was in.
He's ready to whoop motherfuckers' asses.
So right. So
he's the wrestling machine right now.
Right. He fits in. He fits in 2.0 because he's a drastically different character. I think Kyle O'Reilly will also have to adapt and change his either align with someone or do something else to kind of fit in that mold if he were to stay in NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
Now, on the main roster, I'm not sure what his kind of ceiling is if he ever went up there. But to be honest with you, and I say this for Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly, I never understand why people just don't. If you're going to say like, I want to go to AEW one day, go to the main roster first.
Yeah.
As bad as it may be at times,
like do a short contract stint.
Yeah,
at the very least,
you will gain so much more new fans and so much more notoriety, and you'll be able to negotiate for more. Let's say something great happens. I think you'll be able.
Yeah, let's say you get over and you discover a new gimmick overnight, and it's just super over, and they're giving
the main
you
event of WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, they're giving you all kinds of pushes and rubs, or like they see they look at these two guys and they're like, these are two indie bred talents that we brought up in through our system, and now they're on WWE television. Let's see if we could try to make the next Daniel Bryan out of this nigga.
Right.
The next scrappy underdog for people to root for at WrestleMania. He goes over at Royal Rumble, blah, 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 bitty blue, blah.
Right. That's the same thing also that I had with not necessarily a problem because these niggas can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But with Adam Cole leaving as well, I'm like, yo, you are so money.
Yeah, and I was just like, bro, if it wasn't for
the Twitch, I'm assuming it's the video games.
I'm assuming it's the video games, but I'm saying, but like his Ring of Honor run, like I was like, you are amazing. Why would you settle to be like second banana to like a guy who looks like, I don't even know.
Right, but here's the thing.
He's shaped like a Beetleborg.
With CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, they've had lengthy WWE career runs, and they've main evented shows, and they've been very pivotal point of the shows to the point where you can call your shot.
Yeah.
You have all the creative control. Even Andrade, to an extent. Andrade been on the main roster for
and
maybe
he's just
2 years.
Yeah, he's just telling people, I'm not going to lose this time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
Same with Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people who have
There's some real NXT divas, I'm not going to lie. There's some real fucking... I'm not going to lie. Some of the people that came up from the NXT... Like, some of them are like, oh, there's a chance of a lifetime. Some of them are just like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, because... But at least they've been on WWE. They've been in front of that crowd. They've been in front of that WrestleMania crowd. They've been in front of so many eyes, 3 million eyes on a weekly basis and stuff like that. They have people who are going to recognize them from that show. With Adam Cole, if you watch Tuesday, which a lot of people don't, compared to WWE main television, you may see him. You may recognize him. But people who are just very mainstream fans who only watch the main shit are gonna be like, yo, Kyle O'Reilly, I guess, like, he cool. But, like, I don't know.
I like his haircut, but that's about it.
I don't really know him like that, but...
It's crazy. Like, I thought they would I'm not gonna say I thought that the Undisputed Era would get called up at the beginning of, like, 2020 or something.
Right.
But, like, everything that they did in Survivor Series, like, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Was setting that up for, like, okay, the Undisputed Era will eventually make it to the main roster.
Right. But,
And then, I don't know what happens in between the little time, but, like, they nixed that plan, and they were just like, okay, we're going to have y'all on the show for a little while, and we're going to have this feud between Adam and Kyle over this Finn Balor thing, which I was like, okay, whatever.
Great matches.
Great matches, though.
Great matches. I'll give them that. Like,
and we got to see the best incarnation of this group with the Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly tag team.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was, amazing.
I think, and Johnny Gargano, I don't really know. He had this announcement on NXT. They gave him a great farewell. He gets beat up by Grayson Waller. Waller. I don't know why I keep...
it's okay. He needs some better gear. Yeah. That's what it is. He got like blue Nike trunks that he just got from the Nike store there, like the outlet.
He's got a...
Like, there's a seamstress... Like, he need to call Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Put your husband on the phone.
Because, he definitely does.
He needs some new gear.
Especially considering now he's going to be in this big position because he beat up Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a social media darling. You got to be drippy.
Yeah, a little bit. Come on.
You got to be drippy, man.
He's getting his chicks taken away by LA Knight. I was like...
Yeah, man. You getting your chicks taken away by a guy who does promos like it's still 1980. Huh? What? Yeah. Like someone pulled the string on LA Knight.
Oh my god.
LA Knight has his own Stretch Armstrong.
he's coming to
I'm not gonna lie, him and Cameron Grimes, I can't wait to see them on the main roster because they're amazing.
I agree.
I feel like LA Knight gonna chew holes through motherfuckers on the main roster.
I hope so. They need him on the main roster like now.
Yeah,
on SmackDown now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where Johnny Gargano go at AEW. Honestly, I don't know
Maybe,
at this point.
But I feel like he does a tour. I feel like he's going to do a lot of the different indies.
He's gonna...
I know he'll probably show up for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and shit like that, like when he gets a chance to.
Right. I think, so what he's doing now, he's got his shows up on Pro Wrestling Tees, that he's about to do his Twitch thing and all the other stuff that you can do when you have freedom and stuff like that. And maybe he realizes that he likes that freedom and it's like, I'd like to continue this, but I'd also like to continue getting paid because I am having a kid. So maybe he does go to AEW, which I don't think anyone's going to hold it against him.
Yeah.
But
I don't see him doing like a long stint with them either.
Nah. So I've always been the thing of like, I look at Chris Jericho's 2018, 2019. I'm like, yo, why don't more people follow this blueprint? Like the idea of, and I know not a lot of people are Chris Jericho, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a harder times because of COVID.
You have to be a malleable entertainer too. Chris Jericho got a lot of things over that I would have never, like the motherfucker got a list over.
Right. So, but he's decided he wasn't going to sign anywhere immediately. And just like, I'm doing shit, I'm getting bread wherever the bread is at.
Yeah.
And I always thought Daniel Bryan was going to do that. He still can, to be honest with you.
He loved wrestling too much. He don't got anything other than wrestling. Chris Jericho, he's like, oh, I'm a personality on the radio. I do shows. I fucking perform with my band.
Yeah.
So he's got all those things across the board, whereas Daniel Bryan's just like, I really love wrestling.
Yeah, so I think he's going to do all of that stuff like that. But, it's interesting. I think there's a whole other world. I even look at Zack Ryder And I don't really like Zack Ryder, but I'm not against what he's
Knock the hustle, because it's just like, if you look at the way he started on WWE television and he had his own little YouTube segment and shit like that, it's just like he's always been tapped into social media.
Right. He said WWE was his developmental, and I was like, you know what? I'm not offended by that, because you learned your craft there, but now you're taking everything that you've invested into yourself and all the time and applying it in so many different places, and having this unique selling point to yourself where you're everywhere and you've done everything and you can appear in different places and stuff like that. Yes, it's a little bit of spreading yourself thin, but also you're raising your profile in a completely
I'm not
going to
lie to you. If I could get one check that's bigger than 3 checks, I'm going to take the one check.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Especially if my body is on the line.
Of course. I'm not sure how, but then again, I'm not sure how Zack Ryder was in AEW. Mm-hmm. And I know his name is a different name right now, but I don't really care.
Ass Ryder.
Well, yes, he was ass in AEW, which is why he got that name. But he had his friendship with Cody and all this other stuff like that, and I think he just realized, like, maybe they realized that shit wasn't going to pan out for him really, really easy.
Yeah, because you got 6,000 niggas on your roster. You in the roster with 100,000 niggas.
So,
like,
it is what it is. So, you know what? Bitch, Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, the best. Kyle O'Reilly, I expect to see you in AEW soon. You don't really have
lace up those undisputed era boots.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do. I don't know if WWE.
You see that?
And shit.
You see that? It's like,
oh, they absolutely probably do.
They probably do, yeah.
Yeah.
Names and signals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
because they be on the shirts and shit.
Yeah. I was like, you can't do that.
Man, what I'll say is, you're never going to see the Shield ever do that again.
Oh, nah.
Just appear somewhere else and just show up.
Nah, but Moxley knows he going back.
Yeah. It's a lot of guys. Like, Aleister Black could probably come back if everything sorts out. Andrade, maybe not.
Nah, probably not.
Pac, definitely not.
Andrade's kind of... He doing a lot. I think Pac could come back.
He's too much of a diva. He want too much, and that's why he walked out the first time.
Oh, that's true.
He want too much, and then Tony Khan's just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, you hot right now, so we'll go with it.
Pac, Andrade himself, I think, it's just, I don't know what to say with Andrade.
Yeah, we thought he was fire, and turns out, the temperature check lied. He's not even the best wrestler in his household.
Well, listen, they broke up.
Oh, they did break up. He fumbled that bag. He fumbled that legacy bag. Could you imagine
Thank
that?
God he didn't pay for the BBL, because he would have been like...
Oh, man. She would have had that ass sitting on her like a greyhound. That shit would have been crazy. She's super slim. Anyway, it's just like, he's from a good wrestling family. She's from a prestigious American wrestling family. They get together. It's like Jay-Z and Beyonce are wrestling.
Yeah.
But he not that hot.
Yeah. He's no Jay-Z. All right, let's do a quick few more things from No Holds Barred.
He ain't even Memphis Bleak.
Rey Mysterio's getting a cartoon animated show.
Good for him.
Get that bag, man. Listen, if anyone should be a cartoon, it's Rey Mysterio, because he's just fun. I mean, he's just a good guy. Details about this show say that he's getting a show on Cartoon Network Latin America. It is going to be called Rey Mysterio versus La Oscuridad. Mm-hmm. Which translates...
The darkness.
There you go. See? Look at that.
Bilingual.
And yeah, listen, Rey Mysterio, Cartoon Network show. Why the fuck not? It just works out. It's just cool.
Totally.
Last bit of news and No Holds Barred. Ring of Honor's final battle was over the weekend.
Who was on that show?
Braun Strowman.
He rebranded as what?
What was he called? He was called something stupid. It was like was it the Titan?
The Titan.
I feel like something or Colossal or something. I'm thinking
they can't do Colossal. They've done that already in WWE.
Let me see.
I guess it must be Titan.
Strowman. But here's the thing: it was the last show of it. It was the last show. I mean, you can still say Braun Strowman. Oh, his name is Titan. You can stay like, oh, look at his ROH stuff, man. You just gotta check
one video.
Yeah, check out his ROH stuff.
Whereas like a nigga like Roddy or Adam Cole or anybody that was on the indies for a while doing this ROH stuff has like years worth of tape.
Pretty badass, you know.
Oh, King of the Indies.
Yeah,
King of the Indies, Adam Shear.
Sure, what the fuck it is?
Sure.
Yeah, he's called the Titan. He made an appearance at ROH Final Battle. Also, FTR did, because they love wrestling. And then also, I guess there were also video things from Daniel Bryanson, Eddie Edwards, Hangman Page, Jimmy Jacob, CM Punk, Adam Cole.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Jacob
Bucks.
was in ROH.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so many people I forget because they never made it to like.
Also, R.I.P. Jimmy Rave.
Jimmy Rave?
Yeah, Jimmy Rave passed away. He recently, like, he's been going through it bad. I think most recently, like as of a couple months ago, he had to get both of his legs amputated because of Mercer.
Mercer?
Yeah.
What is that?
That is pretty much, hold on, let me pull it up.
That's like sepsis, or what is that?
Hold on. MRSA. There we go. MRSA, not Mercer. Sorry.
It's an infection?
Yes, it's a type of, as it says, it is an infection caused by a type of staph bacteria that has become resistant to many of the antibiotics used to treat normal staph infections.
So that's an infection that's just gone too far?
Yeah. So he had to amputate both of his legs, and then he unfortunately passed away just a couple days ago. So R.I.P. to Jimmy Rave. ROH Final Battle. Listen, if this is the final time we see ROH, what are your fond memories of ROH?
They brought us so many like heartwarming and wonderful WWE and Impact champions.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
That's really what it is. It's like I wasn't watching ROH in real time, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. I was
watching clips once people got called up because I'd be like, oh, this nigga must be the shit.
Right. I watched, so my ROH period was probably from 2014 to 2007. And then I promptly fell off because I just couldn't torrent that many DVDs anymore. But
yeah, because it's all stuff on DVD, and it's like I don't even think we have access in this sector of America to its television broadcast.
Nah, which is crazy. Like they need a sort of it would mean someone would have to buy the library of ROH, which has been a conversation as of late of someone to buy this library. And then
there's only one person with enough ducats to suddenly just be like, yeah, throw it on Peacock.
Yeah. Season 2 of ROH.
Put it right underneath Evolve. Right where it should have been.
Season 1 of ROH. Season 2 of ROH. Season 3 of ROH. I hate fucking Peacock. But, yeah, ROH, I mean, my time, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Cole Cabana, Chris Hero,
people, what's so
Punk.
funny? People just gloss over AJ Styles being there, and I was just like, come on, this is the foundation.
Oh my God, yeah. He was a big guy there.
Yeah.
Just
Nigel McGuinness, Low Key, Amazing Red. I remember one of my fondest memories was it's so crazy. It took me so long to realize that he's Puerto Rican. Amazing Red.
Oh really?
Yeah, it took me so long.
Let's see.
Because Ring of Honor people barely talk sometimes.
The red cornrows? No?
Yeah.
Didn't throw you?
No, I just thought it was Kool-Aid.
But there's so many different things that have come out from ROH, and it's really been a pivotal fixture in the pro wrestling business. And when you think of the fall of ECW, really the rise of ROH kind of continued that model of that independent underground, gritty yet different alternative product from WWE. And
it changed wrestling for the last decade, so it's just it's pivotal. Anything you could think about, a lot of the stars that you think about now as being big shit for the last 10 years probably walk through those doors.
Yeah, listen.
And down that ring and face Cheeseburger. That's one of the few things I really do remember, that and those crazy Japanese matches.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Kenta versus Joe. Slapping the shit out of each other.
Whew.
Come on. Samoa Joe's
Samoa
prime.
Joseph is definitely on the Ring of Honor,
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It goes
him,
Punk, Bryan, Nigel for me.
Okay, so Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And shout out to, they also had like Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh, yeah. He had a completely different name in ROH. Damian Priest was an ROH guy.
Punishment Martinez. Come on,
That's
man.
a crazy-ass name.
I know. That was fire. I was like, yo, why don't they keep
That sound like he spanked niggas. That's why I didn't keep it.
Punishment Martinez is hard. Also, if you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/The A Show RNC, you can listen to both Justin and Cyrus. It's completely up right now. They're reviewing ROH Supercard 2018, which features a lot of AEW talent. They have like Cody versus Kenny, the Young Bucks is on there, Adam Page is on there. A lot of people who are currently in AEW is on that show. So have some fun with that. The Bucks, of course, and all this other stuff like that. Maybe that was the card where they all sat in the room and was like, yo, we should do this. We should pool our money together. And then get a Greyhound to ride to Tony Khan so he can get his money and invest in us.
Now they told him, Tony, you ever heard about Bitcoin? You ever heard about Forex, Tony?
NFTs, come on. Nothing? No. All right.
Let me sell you this ugly monkey for $4,000, okay? In some sort of illegal currency.
Also, one more quick thing, though. No holds barred. WWE institutes the NIL Next in Line Name, Image, Likeness program where they're getting college kids into the WWE developmental system.
Those kids are going to be set for life once you shed that.
If they make it.
If they make it. Because it's not guaranteed. You probably got to be on your P's and Q's and talk to Vince McMahon every fucking day.
People were so much in their ass because they felt like this was taken away from indie talent, and it's like WWE should hire.
It's not. It is not, because someone that busts their ass in the indies can still show up on NXT. It's just that they would have to go through that process.
And why are we lying to ourselves like the biggest stars in wrestling have not come from sports?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns,
The Rock. Everyone is
Goldberg.
You got to start somewhere, and it don't matter where you start. The great thing about pro wrestling is it really don't matter.
They have natural athleticism and physiques that they are going to mold and sculpt for the next few years, and they're starting them young, so no one gets hired at like 35,
right?
And so they have like a limited window from years of doing mad unsafe indie shit,
right? To me, the great thing about pro wrestling is it don't matter where you start. You can drop out of high school and still be a professional wrestler and make a lot of bread.
Not gonna lie to you, a lot of WWE wrestlers actually have college degrees.
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
You go to college, come out of college, sign up and get your WWE. You can go to jail, come back, be a WWE superstar. You can do there's so many different avenues, and that's the great thing about.
You can be an Olympic athlete and be a WWE superstar and show up on Monday and dap Bobby Lashley.
Boom.
Yeah.
There's so many different, they're not stopping anyone from becoming professional wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? WWE's model has changed. But realistically, honestly, I think a lot of that is because of AEW's growth as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, if y'all got a place, if y'all want to be there.
Y'all going to be on TV. You're going to have to deal with me.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do. AEW, I don't like some of their practices, but they're going to do what's best for them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE, similar to AEW, is going to do what's best for them in the long run.
Absolutely.
They're both businesses.
That's why they did all this 2.0 stuff, because it's just like, okay, we're moving away from all these indie guys and we're focusing more on like homegrown talent.
Right.
Because you guys say we poach from the indies and don't bring these guys up and like make them stars, which is not true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, it doesn't happen on the basis, to the amount that everyone wishes it did.
Absolutely.
Because everyone has their little indie darling that they have had a crush on for the longest, and they couldn't wait to see them as WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them made the decision to be like, hey, I'm not going to go that route in WWE.
Right. And
we just have to respect it because it's their lives, their paychecks. So that's that.
So we're going to take a break for right now, and we will be back with the main shows here on the A Show.
Oh, I'm going to go pee and get water.
Let's go hunting. Let's go fishing. Actually, Brock, I'm vegan, and I've been meaning to talk to you about this. I really feel...
Come on, Sammy.
Okay.
Sammy. I think we should get out of Hollywood and go do something more fun and enjoying. Don't you think?
It's not a bad idea. Now that you mentioned,
let's go.
Well, okay. Let me just think about it for a minute. Okay, we're going. Okay, we're going. I really think we should talk a little bit more.
The hell am I looking at here? Oh my God, I spent too much time at the dispensary and the edibles are kicking in.
Preach.
3 years ago, that would have been an automatic trip to Suplex City.
All right, so let's get into. Oh, okay, Mike. All right, let's get into the weekly shows this week. SmackDown.
You're such a handsome guy. The mic just wants to be closer.
SmackDown. Listen, Brock Lesnar's overalls. Sami Zayn.
I want that to be his farewell match for Sami. I want Brock Lesnar to be his farewell match. Because the chemistry that they have is pure comedy.
And he feels very comfortable around him.
Yeah.
In a way that's like...
From one Canadian to another.
Right.
They just have a connection.
I mean, it is with Saskatchewan, the Canadian connection that they have. SmackDown this week to me was a very... show?
Yeah.
It was like, but that's been SmackDown for me in general. So shout out to Justin who's at SmackDown. I'm sure next week we'll hear all about his SmackDown adventures and what happened and who there was and et cetera, et cetera. So Sami Zayn, Brock Lesnar kicked off the show with Paul Heyman. It was announced that Roman Reigns was not going to be on the show, and boy, do you feel when Roman Reigns is not on the show.
Because he's the centerpiece.
Yeah, which is to me, it's bad for SmackDown.
Yeah, you build him as the star and the centerpiece of the show, and it's just like, if he's not there 1 week, it's like there's a whole absence in like what the hell the purpose of the show is.
Yeah, absolutely. So him not being on the show to me is wild as fuck, especially since they're in LA, which is like one of WWE's biggest markets and things like that. What else do I have in notes from this show? The Drew McIntyre train to me is strapped and it's heading towards the Royal Rumble. It could not look any clearer to me based off his interactions with Adam Pearce, based off his interactions of like not being given number one contender matches, based off his interactions with beating Sheamus and etc. That they're doing the soft build for this man to win the Royal Rumble again.
I mean, that man is a star. I'm not gonna lie. Drew on Raw was immaculate.
Right.
So he's always crisp in ring. He's always good. He always shows up. Always does above and beyond in these matches, you know, especially with big guys. With big guys, he's going the fucking limit,
right?
You know. So yeah, I'm not mad at them putting Drew over. It's just like, I don't know. I wish he would have gotten a little more time between, but
no, I agree. Drew, well,
because it feels like, didn't he have one during, like he had a championship run during the pandemic though?
Yeah, so I think they want to replicate at least the run towards it in front of people again. Which, I mean, he won the Royal Rumble in front of people. It's not like he didn't win the Royal Rumble in front of people. He just didn't win the championship in front of people. But I don't know if he's the guy to beat Roman Reigns if he is that person who wins the Royal Rumble.
Let me tell you, anything, like, at this point, anything could beat Roman Reigns. Because they've made him so strong that they just have to give somebody a MacGuffin to let them win.
I feel, but here's the thing, like, no, he's beating so many people.
That
like,
it's going to take a MacGuffin. It's going to take someone throwing a monkey wrench in his shit for him to lose.
Paul Heyman?
Some shit like that. Like Paul Heyman sets him up, the Beast comes out, 1, 2, 3, gets the F5 on him, and pins him in, and somebody wins. Like, it's gonna be a MacGuffin, and that way you can segue from a feud between like Brock and Roman, or a feud between Roman and this other guy that took his championship, and you just kind of have Brock Lesnar in the middle, keeping him away from that title.
That's crazy. Okay.
It's not crazy. It's just that they've made him so strong. It's like, you watched the ending to Naruto, right?
Yes, I did. Most recently.
How they made the ending bad guy so strong that they had to completely just give you some whole other shit that you never fucking heard of to win?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you draw yourself into a corner like that. That's why Finn Balor fell off those ropes. I mean, they were just like, we're not giving him the win. Make the ropes fall.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. I mean,
that's how wrestling's always been. If you are the too strong, they got a MacGuffin you.
Listen, it's insane. I'm not sure who beats Roman. I'm not sure if Drew's the guy, but to me, it looks like he's the guy who's gonna win the Royal Rumble.
Definitely, he's gonna kick him out his fucking Jordans.
The main event proved to me that Randy Orton is WWE's GOAT right now.
Oh yeah, he's really polished the character that he is for the last 3 years, and it's just like excellent.
They have, in terms of just WWE itself, they had a main event for the show, which I wasn't thought was the greatest main event. I was like, they wanted to find out who's the best tag team in WWE, and I was like, word, really? This is what we're, all right, cool. And it was the Usos versus the New Day versus RK Bro randomly on SmackDown, and it was a really good tag team match. I don't know if I necessarily needed it, nor do what stakes it has, because pretty much Randy Orton and Riddle pretty much met on Monday and act like nothing happened. So there isn't really no stakes to this thing, but New Day ends up winning, but it ends up being a really great match and proving that when Randy Orton gets that hot tag, it was hotter than fish grease. It was
and twice as smelly.
Yeah. But it was so crazy. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I have to say. SmackDown wasn't a really, besides that, they had Zia Lee debuted.
Yeah. Oh, with her fucking Sasuke ass, like, graphic?
Naomi says, Sasuke! And then Zia Lee comes out with her, like, electric shit and the Chidori. And like,
yeah. Xia Lee's concussion superhero.
Where do you see kind of Xia Lee in, like, the trajectory of Xia Lee? Do you think that she could be women's champion one day?
Maybe. If they give it, like when I first saw Asuka, I was like, this girl is amazing. And then they just gave her the belt, and I was like, damn, this girl really did it. But it's like, I don't know much of Xia Lee's been so start and stopped so many times. Like, I think at least 3 times now, and now she's on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to see consistency from her, and I can tell you where she's going to go.
Right. I think I don't know, Xia Li, I'm like, again, I haven't seen so much of her in the ring. Like, I haven't seen her, like, long form in the ring. Yeah,
because all her matches in NXT were mostly squash.
Right, and I actually haven't really heard her on the mic neither. Mm-hmm. So, to WWE, this is kind of like, and it's interesting because they just brought up Aaliyah a couple months ago, and then she threw up on herself and was never seen again. But,
mm-hmm. She on SmackDown Dark Elevation.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know what the heights is with Xia Li, but God bless. I mean, we'll see where it goes, how it goes, what it is at this point. Let's go to Raw, because things happen on Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah. Bobby Lashley being the hardest working man in show business.
Black Lesnar.
Black Lesnar.
Bobby Lashley having to run the gauntlet. Never tell you that people of color don't have to work 3 times as hard to get the same
Tapping into his West Indian roots, he said, I'm working 3 jobs tonight.
3 times as hard to get the same result as everyone else.
Matches with Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Matches with Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Matches with Big E.
Yes. All 3 matches on the same episode of Monday Night Raw, which isn't so bad.
That's like 30 minutes of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but they also had like little hijinks and shit like that. Like, to me, so I think Raw, considering how bad its 3rd hour has been, they're trying to find this through line to make you watch through the shows. But realistically, I also think that Raw should do this thing where it should be a week-to-week television show. So I feel like we should have matches already announced for next week from this show. So I can be like, oh, I can at least look forward to this instead of
matches and match stipulations. Like, if there's going to be an important match stipulation that I just want to watch out for, just tell me that it's coming up.
That's the only thing I mean, that's one of the real strong things I liked about the Paul Heyman era of things, was just like...
Of SmackDown?
Nah, of Raw, because when he was the executive director of Raw, and we had those ladder matches with Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and we had a lot of the Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black things, you had a lot of street fights and stuff like that. He made sure to make television at least must see. You're going to watch it. We don't need to worry about subscriptions. It's Peacock.
That's New York nigga shit.
Yeah.
He said, yo, you gotta have an explosion or else no one's gonna watch.
Yeah, we ain't gotta worry about explosion and shit. Like, this is Peacock. This is like, the subscriptions, it's selling itself at this point. What we need to do is make exciting television. And he essentially moved forward. I mean, well, it wasn't Peacock then, but it's Peacock now. But that's what I think Raw is kind of missing, is this exciting television, because it falls into a lull and then it falls into a very long...
They need to get rid of that 3rd hour.
I agree, but it's not going to happen.
It's just gratuitous.
It's not going to happen. Too much money is on the line in that 3rd hour for it to be... Like, you making money and just decided, I'm going to stop making money.
Okay.
Unless they started like this match is promoted by Chili's.
Jimmy John's.
Yeah, they just
this steel cage has been brought to you by the good folks at Roto-Rooter.
But Bobby Lashley, so he had a match with, initially the first match he had is with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens was like, fuck this, I'm out. He was put in the full Nelson. He was like, before the full Nelson's
before
even
he
locked
fully
in,
clasps his hands, he taps and he rolls out the ring.
Yeah, niggas was just like, nah, I'm out of here. Fuck this.
Then Seth Rollins pretty much gets set up by Kevin Owens, right?
Yeah, so I guess Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens came up with this plan where Seth is having this match with Bobby, and then Kevin runs down and hits Seth. And they look at each other like, you want my DQ? I want my DQ. He's not going to be in the match. And then, of course, the parents come out, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce came out. It's like, no, we're not doing it like that. We're going to restart the match. And I was like, that's pretty hypocritical of Sonya Deville, who literally has handicap matches against Naomi at least once a week.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, But again, heels, hypocritical. Yeah. It's all together. Where was I? Okay, so Bobby ends up beating, Bobby ends up like pretty much spearing and beating Seth Rollins, and then they pretty much is like, Seth and Kevin go to Big E and like, we got to figure this out. We got to get here. We're like, how are we gonna do this? And then Big E's like, nah, I just got to beat this black man on my own. And of course, he loses.
Yeah,
because of a lot of hijinks. A lot of
different like
it was a no disqualification match too, which I thought was a nice touch.
Seth and Kevin intervene, and then finally towards the end
to beat up both of them. As if the idea isn't just to get just to get Bobby out the match. No, they have to beat up both of them.
Yeah. And so they're beating up on them, and then eventually they get dispelled at the ring.
Speared through the table. Thing gets speared through the table. I think Seth gets speared through a table,
and I think Kevin got powerbombed, right?
Yeah. So Big E tries to go in and take an advantage, and then MVP comes in.
Hits him in the knee with his fucking cane.
And then that's how Bobby beats him, which I was like, wow.
Wow.
The power of one versus the power of idiots. So we got a Fatal 4-Way match coming up. Fatal 4-Way encounter between Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins.
And it's that way by design.
Yeah.
That way, like the champion still looks strong at the end.
Right. Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and what's the fucking other guy? Big E. There you go. Coming at day one. Also, I have on this Bianca Belair is also looking prime for another Royal Rumble win, in my opinion. She's been kept away from the Royal Rumble. They're doing this live program now with Becky, which I think is, it is what it is. But Bianca Belair, great showing against Doudrop. Hit that full 50.
Those two girls got the best chemistry. Oh my god, when I last Raw, almost jumped out of my seat when she was about to hit the
KOD, right? I was like, I would have stood up and clapped.
Because it was just like, that's her lifting Andre moment.
Yeah. So, and they're still building up towards that, which is great, because like Bianca Belair does get the win. She hits the 450 and wins this match. But they make sure not to hit the KOD because
that is the pay-per-view payoff.
Yes, absolutely. So, Doudrop interferes at the end, knocks out Bianca, and we're on our way to the pay-per-view match. Becky Lynch beats up Liv. That's all I got.
Of course.
That's all I got.
How else did you think it was going to go on free television?
Yeah, that's all I got. Becky Lynch beats up Liv. The promo by Becky was great. The promo by Liv was Miz, Hall of Fame ballot. So he's in this feud with Edge, and I think now it's
two people that can really talk their ass off. So
absolutely.
It's just like every like it's going to be more promos than matches. You already know that. But it's also just going to be like, because they're going to save off the payoff of the violence.
Yes.
Mostly because Edge is a Hall of Famer and doing this like sporadic actual in-ring appearance thing.
Right.
Whereas Miz is probably fine and good to go.
So Edge is, but clearly Miz is trying to level himself against Edge because as accomplished Miz is, he is not as accomplished as Edge. So he's putting in his Hall of Fame ballot so he can also be like, yo, y'all need to consider me for the Hall. If y'all make Edge a Hall of Famer, y'all got to make me a Hall of Famer. And he has this great video and it's amazing. And Maurice is there. And it comes out Edge. They have another stellar back and forth promo. It actually leads to some physical altercation. At some point, Edge tries to go for the spear on Miz.
Blacks with Maurice.
Yeah.
Oof.
And
classic evil guy move.
Right. Miz hits the skull crushing finale on Edge, and then Maurice gets completely mad. It was like, yo, I got kids now. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. I'm your wife, nigga.
This is all fine to me and had no kids and shit like that, but like now I got kids. I can't be getting speared on television for you. I can't get knocked off the aprons for you. And I was like, damn, this is what marriage and kids is like. This is what Al Bundy had to go through.
Nah, Al Bundy was not saying, "Hey, babe, you got to do this table spot with me."
He might have put fucking Peggy through a table his damn self.
Oh, maybe.
So that was another entertaining part of Raw, and then of course, Reggie with them white women.
Oh yeah, Reggie. This is real swirled agenda talk right here. The 24/7 championship.
Why are
Dana Brooke and like Reggie just teaching her how to do flips.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it saved The Last Dance all over again.
Y'all gonna pin her or not?
Exactly. Like just let Tamina pin her, and then like first of all, Tozawa and R-Truth wasting their time. They should be tag team champions.
Absolutely, you're right.
They should be. They should compete for because they have a good, funny chemistry and they can do silly shit.
Yeah.
Just make them a fluke tag team. Let them get a couple fluke wins.
Mm-hmm.
Put the fucking belts on them, and we're just gonna laugh at all the ridiculous shit that they do during matches and all these R-Truth promos.
No, I agree.
Because it's a good use of aging talent.
That was kind of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't have much else to say. Thank you, Carlos.
No problem.
For joining the show. If you want to talk wrestling with him, please don't talk wrestling at him. Just please talk wrestling with him and at his own discretion.
Yeah.
You can follow him at DammItCarlos on Twitter. Anything else you'd like to plug?
Doing a New Year's party for LAN party.
In New York, if you live in New York.
Yeah. On probably the 31st going into the new year.
There you go.
Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram.
If you live in New York and like fire parties and great DJing.
Oh, yeah. And LAN party is like cool. They do like a lot of like anime and like gaming events and live stream events. So it's just like, and they're, black and POC owned. So
bada boom, bada boom.
Yeah,
listen,
support us.
That's where you go. And you can also support us, patreon.com/The A Show RNC. You can follow us also at The A Show RNC on Twitter. You can also follow us at The A Show on RNC Radio, anywhere where you find podcasts. Please continue to subscribe. I think next week we're going to have an announcement of something fun that we're doing over the Christmas thing. But next week also, Justin should be back, and I think, are we talking about our year-end stuff? Yes, we are.
Yeah, because that's like right around the corner.
Right, so we're going to be part one of our year-end thing next week when Justin returns to the A Show. But until then, my friends, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
The Kings of Black Wrestling Podcasts. Wah.